Hey, it's Gothy. And I didn't do updates last week, so I'm doing them now. Yay! Right, so, stitching updates first. I am super behind in Stitch Mania. I'm not really surprised. I'm really bad at, like, following schedules and shit. It's just not a thing that I'm good at. I have 2 finishes, though. Of course you can't see it. So far I've started 4 projects for Stitch Mania. I finished 2, so that's one of them. It's just a little card. This one actually really annoyed me. I didn't have enough floss in certain colours. One colour was missing completely, so I just had to sort of improvise out of my own stash. And then I've just put it inside the card and stuff. But yeah, this one was really annoying. Which sucks because I have 2 of these kits, so eventually I'm going to have to do another one. But it's done. It's finished. It's all good. And then... sit there, will you? Sit. And then I finished the Home Sweet Home one. As you can see, like, this one here, the French knot there, fine. The other 2 didn't come out properly, so I just sort of improvised. And then I decided not to do the French knots that were down here, because they were pissing me off, so I didn't. It's not in there 100% properly, it's a little off to one side a bit too much, so I have to straighten it up, but eventually it's finished. It's done. Tom Hiddleston has been started. It looks kind of creepy right now, but yeah, that's the Tom Hiddleston. I haven't done any more on it. And I'm doing a bird card kit. Where's the thing? That one. So the next one I'm going to start will be this one. And we'll go from there. So I'm just going to sort of throw the schedule out. I'll just start things. I'll start all the projects eventually, but yeah. Last week I had a lot to do, so I just didn't get as much of stitching stuff done as I wanted to. The big thing was that I did some work for Sexpo. So I started on Thursday, did 12 until 9 p.m. on Thursday. Friday I did 11 till 5, and then I had to come back to Mount Druitt to do midnight basketball, which starts at 7. So I got there right on time, basically. It takes about 2 hours to get from where Sexpo was to Mount Druitt, so yeah. So midnight basketball till midnight. And then Saturday I did... What did I do Saturday? Saturday was 10:30 till midnight. And Sunday was 10:30 till 9. So then, like, just allowing, like, the 2 hours travel there, 2 hours travel home. It was a very long weekend. Very long couple days. But it was fun. I enjoyed it. I did do a little bit of shopping, but I'll talk about, like, that towards the end, because some people may not want to hear it. I don't know, whatever. But it was fun. And I spent the whole weekend working in the fetish playroom. So I was, like, working with people that I know from fetish stuff. And it was really fun. Except there was a bit of stress. Because they had, like, a 4-hour shibari extravaganza on the Saturday night. It was supposed to start at 6, and then there was a delay, so I had to, like, deal with a bunch of people that I'd been telling that it was 6 o'clock. Yeah, and they came at 6 o'clock, and it's like, oh, well, it's delayed. I'm sorry. Please don't hate me. And then we had... And then they started lining up anyway from 6 o'clock. Come 6:40, when we started letting people in, we had to stop at like 220 people because we were at capacity for the room. And there was still a good couple hundred people waiting. So we ended up having to split the show into 35-minute sets. flush the broom and let new people in. But because of the rules of Sexpo and the way they've set up these lounges and stuff, everyone had to pay every time that they went in. So if they went in and saw two parts of the show, they had to pay twice. Which was kind of frustrating for me because I could see people getting frustrated at waiting. I could see people getting frustrated at having to pay again. And the big thing was that they left me alone to deal with it for pretty much the whole night. I didn't have security. I didn't have a second person with me. Nothing. And at one point, there was this guy that was sort of not in my face, but he was sort of, you know, telling me off about his platinum pass thing because my supervisors hadn't told me that certain passes get priority access. They get let in before everybody else. Ah, that went under my nail. Damn it. Anyway, they're supposed to get let in before everyone else. I didn't know that, so I hadn't been doing it. And there were so many people there that I wouldn't have done it anyway, because it just wasn't fair to the people that didn't have these passes. And on the same hand, not fair to the people that paid extra for these special ones, but still. Yeah, so I had this guy in my face, and then some other staff came up and told me, oh, well, no, you're supposed to be giving these people special access. And they're telling me right as I've already let like 200 odd people in. I've got a line of a couple hundred people waiting to go in. And then I was going to have to turn around and tell them that certain people would go in for the next one and certain people would have to wait even longer. Yeah, like people were already, I could see people were already annoyed and they were already stressed and stuff. So I just sort of I started imagining what was going to happen when I started telling people that they had to split up according to what pass they had, and that certain people would go in and certain people wouldn't, and I had an anxiety attack. So, yeah. But eventually, I calmed down pretty quickly. Like, I went outside, and there was a security guard outside, and we just started chatting about books and stuff, so I calmed down pretty quickly. And I went back in. When I went back in, turns out that they decided not to do the priority access for certain passes and stuff just because there were so many people, and I was just like feeling like I had an anxiety attack for nothing. You came over here and told me off for nothing. Like, yeah. But then they still didn't have anyone to work with me or security or anything. So one of the other organisers for in the fetish playroom helped me out with the line and stuff because, yeah, didn't stop. Yeah, there was later on, like, because it goes to midnight. There was like a late influx of people who'd been at the football. So the football finished and they came in. They were already like pissed and stuff. So they're just drinking more and ended up dealing with a group of 5 lads, and they were just being assholes basically. And they were, oh, come on, let us in, let us in. It's like, well, I can't. We're at capacity. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to wait till the next show, or if people come out, before then. Otherwise, I can't let you in. Oh, come on, come on. What about if we bribe you? Fuck off. Just, no, you're not coming in. Oh, you're a bitch, blah, blah, blah. We'll just stand over here, we'll watch through the curtains. And I'm like, no, you can't, because it's not fair. Oh, we paid for our tickets, that's good. You can't go in. You haven't paid to see the show. Like, it's a separate thing. You can't just watch through the curtains. So they got up and did it anyway. They went over to the curtains. So I had to get up, go over to where they were standing, trying to look through the curtains and stuff. Move the curtains over and sort of push them away without touching them or anything. So of course they started in on me even more. And because I didn't have security there to back me up or anything, I couldn't just tell them to fuck off. So then some people did leave. Like, they sort of hung around nearby for a little while. And they were like, oh, fucking bitch, fucking blah, blah, blah. I was just like, yeah, good on you, mate. And then some people did leave. And by that point, we had a few people that decided to queue up anyway and just wait to see if they could get in. Because I think this was for the last show. So I couldn't guarantee that anyone would get in or anything like that. But yeah, there were already people queuing. And then some people left, so they ran over and pushed in front of the people who were queuing because they'd walked off. And they're just like, oh, we were here first, we are next. And, like, every instinct that I had was telling me to not let them in. And I wish to God I could have, and if I'd had security there, I probably could have told them to fuck right off. But because I was there by myself, and if something had happened, like, I already popped my knee out, trying to stop them from peeking through the curtains. So I had to let them in. And they ended up leaving after a couple minutes anyway. And I was just like, what the fuck was the point of that? Like, why did you bother making such a huge fuss if you could just fucking leave early? But I was so worried that they were going to be loud and noisy and shit inside the performance too. And because being shibari, it can be dangerous. Like, if the riggers and stuff lose concentration, like, yeah. So I was worried, but yeah, they were just being dicks. And then on the Sunday, they had a second person to work with me and a security guard. And it's just like, well, you know, that would have been nice last night. Right now, there's not enough work for two people to do, so yeah. Yes. So that was Sexpo. I got to meet some new people and stuff, which was good. I got to meet two porn stars, one of whom is very, very gorgeous. And she was a sweetheart too, so like I said, did some shopping, which I'll talk about right at the end. And then, yeah. Now it's just a matter of, I should be starting... I need to do some TAFE work this week. So far, I haven't done any. And is it Wednesday today? Yeah, it's Wednesday. So far, I haven't done any TAFE work. I do need to do some this week, though. And I should be starting up at the youth centre any day now. I've got to go see them probably tomorrow if I can get those photos done. Because they've sort of upgraded me to photographer for midnight basketball. So I was doing that, and I've got to take the photos off my camera and put them on a disc, delete them from my hard drive and stuff just because of the working with children's laws and stuff, and take them down to them. And then that way I can find out what day I'll be starting, what times and stuff. But that should be sometime this week. So I really need to get started on some of those assessments. And there's a fetish party this weekend. I was going to be going to this Overwatch launch party, but there was this huge fuck up with the tickets, and now I can't go. So that's really frustrating because I was really looking forward to it. I'm so hyped for Overwatch. Like, next Tuesday, I have to make sure that... That's the other thing I've got to do this week. I keep saying it. Edit the goddamn edit the videos that are on my camera, because I have a fuckload of videos on my camera. Actually, I have to film another 5 before I do that, so might do that later, maybe. Yeah. Hello, Eden. Hello. Meow. Meow. But yeah, I have new colouring books, and I have a new book. So, book is The Fireman by Joe Hill. It's a proof copy because it hasn't come out yet. It comes out next month, early next month. But I won this on Goodreads, so I'm going to start reading it. It's a big book, like it's chunky, but the font is quite large for a book this size anyway. So I'm looking forward to reading this because it's Joe Hill. So, and it's about some sort of virus thing. Fox News said that it had been set loose by ISIS using spores that had been invented by the Russians. MSNBC said sources indicated it might have been created by engineers at Halliburton and stolen by culty Christian types fixated on the Book of Revelation. CNN reported both sides, while every TV station debated the cause the world burnt. Pregnant school nurse Harper Grayson had seen lots of people burn on TV, but the first person she burned for real was in the playground behind the school. With the epic scope of the passage or the road, this is one woman's story of survival at the end of the world. So, it's about a virus, obviously, and apocalypse. So, but new colouring books have Mendy, which has got some example ones in the front, but then single-sided, funky designs. I've got Mystical Mandalas, which is another Dover colouring book one. And these ones are double-sided, and some of them are like grey instead of black, so depending on if they take felt tip pens very nicely, will depend on what I can do with them. And this one's Tranquil Wilderness. And all three of these cost me like $15, like for all three. They're like, one was $6, one was $4, one was $5. So, and free shipping. And this one's just got a bunch of random bits and pieces that are kind of cool. So, yeah, I have to film these ones, and I've got 2 other ones from previous weeks that I want to film reviews for and put them up. The other thing I got, hello, Lydon. Meow meow. 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 He wants to go outside. The other thing I got was this, and it's a blending, it's a colourless blender, and it's Tombow, because I got blending pencils from Prismacolor, and I'm not a huge fan of them, so I've got this one to play around with. It cost me like $5 off eBay, and I did test in, it's one of my other colouring books that I got a review, tattoo one. I did test it in this, and I just tested it with my Jazz Art pencils. I've got to test it with the watercolour ones, but let's see, yeah, so that's just single colour with some blending from the Tombow. So, yeah. Yeah. So I'm pretty happy with it. I like it. And the good thing is, because it's not water, it didn't really go through the pages or anything. It didn't cause any problems. So, yeah. So the back of the page is fine. So, those are all things that I got. I'm gonna talk about what I got from Sexpo here, so if you don't like that sort of stuff, bye! Yes, so from Sexpo, I got, let me just put that there, got these, sensual sticks. They're like candles. I mean, they pretty much are candles, but they smell so nice. But these ones are different to candles because when you drip them on your skin, instead of like solidifying like a normal wax does when it cools, you rub it in, and it's a moisturizer, like a scented moisturizer, and it doesn't set off my psoriasis, which is nice. And they just, I wish, like, this is like when we need like smell-o-vision, you can like smell it because it's really nice. So I got that. I got this. It's just a little one. It only cost me $5 because some of the things up here are rusted, but that's fine. It doesn't really affect anything. I can clean them up. But it's only $5, and it's actually really stingy. Like, some foggers you get are thuddy, like they're really heavy, but some of them are stingy, and this one is stingy, so I like it. And then I also got a strap-on, because I've always wanted a strap-on, so now I have a strap-on. So that's a thing. And people commenting on stuff, okay. Yeah, so I got a strap-on, because I wanted one, and now I have one. I've got to modify the harness a bit. It fits, but it's a little uncomfortable, just because I have such a big ass. So I need to go to Spotlight and get some extra cord stuff that it uses, and then modify it a bit. So those are things that I have to do. That's what I got at Sexpo. I didn't have a lot of money to spend at Sexpo because I didn't get paid until after So, yeah. But that's it. I will go now, and I will talk to you people later. There's the button.